Hello guys, welcome to Global Happenings. Today we have a trending news here for you. The headline of the news reads, Governor Wike and Emeka Ihiedioha are loggerheads over oil wells. See details. But before we continue with details of the news and further analysis, we'd like to encourage you to please subscribe to our channel by clicking on the bell icon on the subscribe button below and also on the bell icon so that you can get notification anytime we publish videos on YouTube.
Yeah, though not everyone actually knows that Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State, the Rivers State governor, and the Imo State governor, Emeka Ihiedioha, were actually best of friends until just recently when their friendship was torn apart due to the disputed oil wells between the two states. Before now, during the presidential primary of the People Democratic Party (PDP) on October 7, 2018, the two governors, then Ihiedioha was not yet the governor, had been very close friends, with Ihiedioha regularly visiting Wike in Port Harcourt. Although Wike supported Aminu Tambuwal in the primary election, while Ihiedioha supported Atiku, who eventually won the ticket, the election did no harm to their relationship, even though Wike was not happy about the outcome. Those who know say that the two continued their friendship from where they stopped, and Ihiedioha kept seeing Wike, while Wike also gave him huge moral support to become the governor of Imo State. To Governor Wike's surprise, however, the first step Ihiedioha took when he became governor was to demand that some oil wells ceded to Rivers State should be returned back to Imo State. The move was said to have left Wike wondering if that was how Ihiedioha's way of rewarding Rivers State for the moral backing the state government gave him to become Imo State governor. Wike was said to be particularly peeved that Ihiedioha did not even accord him ordinary courtesy of mutual discussion of the issue before it went public, knowing fully well that they were not only friends but neighbors as well. Of course, Wike is not one who would want the assets of Rivers State to be ceded to another state, knowing that it was an issue on which Rivers State once fought Bayelsa and won. Those who know said that Wike now sees Ihiedioha as a dangerous friend and Imo as a dangerous neighbor.
Wow. It's not really interesting hearing this kind of news, especially from neighboring states. It doesn't make any sense for you to keep on fighting people that are your neighbors, because very soon you're going to meet your Waterloo. And I'm not so happy when I hear things like this. Why I believe there's so much tension between the two is that they are trying to, number one, show their commitment, first of all, not to friendship, but their commitment to the states that they are serving. You don't expect one to be walking from his own point, that's walking from his state, and you expect him to wave over issues as important as this. Now, if you check out what has been going on in terms of revenue sharing, that's from the Federation account, that's Federation account, that's FAAC, what they get on a monthly basis, you will see huge differences between the two. And most of the time, if you look at it from the perspective of the 13 derivative, sharing, the 13 sharing the derivative, you realize that some very high. And that's why you see them carrying out huge projects that does not even affect them. You see them not struggling in the place of raising funds because, number one, what they have so much that is coming in from FAAC, that's from the Federation Allocation Accounts Committee, they have on a monthly basis what is disbursed to them is really huge. So you realize that they can do a lot with the monies they have. And right now, if you check the chart, Rio State is the third, And how much are they earning? It's really huge compared to what Imo State is earning. Don't forget that they already have some issues with Bayelsa lately, also because of the issue of oil was trying to fight and get some oil was back to themselves. For Imo State, they are the 13% share derivative, which is money you get because of the fact that you are housing oil wells. That's you have oil, they explore oil from you. How much is Imo State getting? Is just like for October, it was just like 1 billion naira is what they got. Then how about Rivers? How much do they have? Rivers State have from their 13% share derivative alone, they have 10 billion naira. Imagine the huge difference. Their total, apart from the debts they are owing, talking about their gross. That's money before deductions, of debt and other things that they are currently owing. Imo State have 4.9 billion naira. Rivers State have 14.1 billion naira. You can see the huge difference. So I believe by the time this guy came on board and see how much has been given to Rivers State and what his own home state, that's the Rivers State, what they are getting, he realizes that, man, there's a huge difference. And there are some oil wells that I need to fight and get back so that I can, get more money from the Federation accounts, which I think it's very okay. You don't expect someone for you to be leveraging on someone and getting more when he realizes that there's something that has not been confirmed if it is actually yours, and if he realizes that it's between the boundaries, I can still go fight and see how I can get this thing back so that I can be getting more money for myself. And that's why Wike is getting angry. Wike was expecting that there should be due consultation. It doesn't work that way. The people first before your friendship. Yeah, they could have been friendship, but I want at the end of the day my people to point out and say, this man, when he came on board, we have lost. Before then, we had already lost so number of oil wells to Rivers State, but when he got this way, some of the high points of his administration, he was able to get as much as this and that to us. That shows a lot of respect. That shows a lot. And Emeka Ihiedioha right now is gaining support from his people so much because they know that what he's pursuing, if it materializes at the end of the day, at least what they are going to be having, it will be far higher than what they are currently having. Don't forget that the reason why Cross River State is not benefiting, that's Cross River State, is not benefiting from the 13% share derivation is because they have been delisted. Why were they delisted? Because when Donald D was on board with, I think, Akpabi or so, when both of them were on board, when both of them were on board, Akwa Ibom came demanding that Bakassi was actually for Akwa Ibom. That's the oil wells, they were actually for Akwa Ibom and not for Cross River State. And they played around, and before you know, they took it from Cross River State. And that's why if you check out the FCC, that's Federation account, disbursement monthly, you realize that Cross River State does not have any money coming to them via that avenue. That's via the 13% share derivative. But River State is getting 10 billion and Imo State 1 billion. Why won't there be a fight? So right now they are at loggerheads because all what he's desiring to see is that at the end of the day, if what is rightfully mine is in your possession, I need to get it back. And I don't care how you feel about it. I don't care what you feel like, but hey, I need to get it. And it's the case of greed. A lot of respondents came in, I'm going to read one or two persons who responded. This one said, all the oil well in River State, not enough for Wike till the few ones in Imo State is ceded to him. Where will this madness of greed take us to? And this is really serious. Now, I want to say Yorubas will never keep off from Biafran land. I don't understand what he's trying to say there. But all the same, it's an indication that the greed, Wike, this is what he has been enjoying. He's been holding on to this thing for as long as now. So trying to make him let go of it while he's still in power is one thing he will never want to let go. And their friendship is not at loggerhead, because right now with this, I know it's already scattered.
Well, in 2007, let's start from a bit from history. In 2007, Ojizo Kalu, the then governor of Abia State, had same issues with Rivers State over oil wells. About 45 to 60 oil wells were ceded to Rivers State, and Ojizo Kalu and the House of Assembly, the State House of Assembly, cried and bemoaned the situation, saying there's hunger in the land because they need the allocation funds that was actually accrued to them before it was ceded. Now they realized it was going so bad that they said, depending on when the court would do the final bidding, that they should be sharing between the two states. As at then, they should be sharing the allocations depending on when the result would come out. And eventually, the State House of Assembly, as at then, went on hunger strike, and they went also just to prove to the federal government and the government of the day that they were not joking, because these oil wells, as at then, too, were actually for Abia State before it was now trying to be ceded then to Rivers. Fairly recently, this 2019, Dixon and Wike were not seeing eye to eye. The reason why they were not seeing eye to eye was simply because of oil wells as well. Dixon was angry because some of the oil wells that were supposed to be for Bayelsa, depending on what they were saying, actually, he said was actually meant for Bayelsa State before now, was eventually court holders ceded it to Rivers State. Now, some of those oil wells that were supposed to be for Bayelsa, that Bayelsa State were enjoying, now officially belongs to Rivers State. Now this. Don't forget that before now, Governor Wike and Emeka Ihiedioha were best of friends. Just like my colleague has rightly said, when it comes to the interest of the state, friendship is put aside. This is something that if you do not correct it, generations and generations unborn will suffer for it. Yeah. You may play your cards on the grounds of friendship, and generations will never forgive Emeka Ihiedioha for that card he played. You were first elected as the chief security officer of your state. You are securing not just life, you're also securing assets.
Properties of the state.
Asset, and oil wells are huge assets in Nigeria.
He's also the chief economics officer, yes, of the state. So he must also look for the betterment of his people. So
what Wike is saying, except of course if he's saying that those oil wells are originally theirs, but from history, from information gathered, those oil wells were originally for Imo State before it was ceded to River State. Yeah. Don't forget, I feel that whoever had allowed this to have happened may not have been strong-willed enough to fight it. Like my colleague has rightly said, Cross River State has been delisted from member of oil-producing state, not because they were not originally there, but because as we speak right now, Cross River State have no oil. Why? Because Bakassi took some parts. Bakassi Cameroon, they were like, no, the boundary where the oil wells are belongs to Cameroon. That was how Cross River lost that part. Then Akwa Ibom still came and said, no, this part of the boundary belongs to Akwa Ibom. If you check the map, and I think that should be the time of Donald Duke. Before even Donald Duke, this whole thing began, and they ceded it to Akwa Ibom. And that was how Cross River, that was supposed to be among the oil-producing states, became none. And it affected their GDP, it affected their income, and their 13% they couldn't get it. They couldn't get that 13% derivatives. That's why the state is heavily taxed, and every state, every chief executive officer of state knows what it is to have 13% derivative. It's always in billions. Yeah. And now, if that can help Ihiedioha, because we all know that right now Ihiedioha needs money as a governor, yes, but because of the level of recklessness, permit me to use that word, that the predecessor had in the state. So he needs every form of funds he can have, to make the state governable. Every fund he can get without necessarily unnecessarily borrowing. Like, look at the issue of pensions for the elderly in Imo State. There's so much excitement. He was able to pay salaries early this month. That's Emeka Ihiedioha, Imo State. He needs the funds. So anything, wherever our lost assets are, I don't care where it is being, whose hair is being gone. I don't care where it is located. Even if it's my best friend, I will get it out. And sentiment aside, I feel he's doing the right thing. We leave sentiments, we leave friendship, we deal on issues. Business first before friendship.
All right, thank you very much. Well spoken. And that's where we're going to leave it. Go to our comment section. Let us interact. What's your position on this issue of squabble, that's quarrel that we are seeing between Emeka Ihiedioha? Do you think it's the right thing Emeka Ihiedioha is doing, or do you think he should still maintain his friendship and forget about the well-being of his